So, you're at the age you want to retire. You've worked hard for decades and thought you did everything right. Yet, you're still not able to live comfortably without working to earn an income. You worked hard, saved what you could, played by the rules, and trusted that one day it would all pay off. But now, after decades of effort, the math just doesn't add up. Your 401k isn't enough to keep you going. Your rent or mortgage, along with other household expenses, keep climbing. And the price of groceries, gas, utilities, clothes, and healthcare, they keep going up. It's enough to make you wonder, was the American dream we were sold ever real to begin with? Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. The US retirement system was never built to help you retire. It was built to keep you working until the end. But what if I told you there's a way out of the trap, a way to escape the grind? A way millions of Americans are quietly discovering, one that leads to freedom, affordability, and a better life than they ever imagined. Welcome back to Retire Without Borders, the channel where I uncover the smartest, safest, and most affordable ways to live your dream life abroad. Today, I'm not going into country guides or visa hacks, but into the system itself. I'm going to uncover how it is a trap and how you can escape. Because before you can escape this trap, you have to see it for what it is. In this video, I'll show you how the US retirement system was designed to fail ordinary Americans, and what you can do to break free so you can live your best life. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal where retirees are escaping to right now, and why it's easier than you think to get away from the trap. Back in the 1980s, retirement was sold to Americans as a reward, a golden period of life after decades of hard work. I'm sure you'll remember the scene at the end of your last workday. You left work for the last time and expected to have a cozy home to settle into. You knew you'd get Social Security and a steady pension that would carry you for the rest of your life. You'd be able to finally spend quality time with your grandkids and maybe take a trip or two every year. But somewhere along the line, that dream vanished. Over the years, companies chose to downsize their retirement plans and shift the burden to workers. So instead of living out your best life, you are living in fear of an uncertain financial future. You may be working later than you planned. But what if you could break free of this financial trap? What if you could take your earnings and enjoy retirement in paradise? Sure, you say, but how? How do I do it? Today, fewer than 15% of private sector workers have pensions. That fact puts many seniors in a tough financial spot every month. Most rely on 401ks, a system created not for workers but for corporations to cut costs and shift risk onto you. And in spite of what you hear, your expenses don't dramatically decrease after retirement, especially if you want to travel. Let's talk about healthcare costs. They have tripled since the 1990s, and they're not going down. Ever. And what about your housing? What if you don't have your house paid off? Can you afford that mortgage? What if you own your home but your property taxes suddenly cost more than you bring home each month? It happens. What if an unforeseen catastrophe takes place and you suddenly need to buy or rent somewhere else? Do you have the money for this saved in addition to your retirement income? Because this system, this machine, was never built for the average American like you or me to win. If you want to know why the system feels rigged, follow the money. Every part of your retirement journey is someone else's profit stream. Financial advisors often make money whether your portfolio rises or falls. And while you struggle to stretch a dollar, the stock market hits record highs. Not because workers are thriving, but because corporations cut costs, offshore jobs, and automate positions. Let's not forget private insurance companies and the greedy politicians who take their money. They've built an economy that thrives when you struggle, and they call it freedom. Here's what that means for real people. 40% of Americans over 55 have no savings at all. The average 65-year-old has just $88,000 in retirement savings. That kind of money is barely enough to last you a few years, much less until you're 80 and really need it. Meanwhile, the cost of living has exploded. That's not retirement, that's survival. But here's the part they don't tell you. You can opt out. You can choose a life where your money actually works for you, where healthcare is affordable, communities are welcoming, and you can live comfortably on your Social Security check alone. It's called retiring abroad, and it's quietly becoming one of the most powerful financial decisions Americans are making today. Let's put this in perspective. In cities like Medellin, Colombia, you can live well on only $1,200 a month. In Chiang Mai, Thailand, a one-bedroom apartment costs around $400 a month. How about living in a beautiful house in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, for less than $1,000 a month? And in Portugal, a couple can enjoy a high-quality life for $2,000 a month, total. Compare that to $5,000 to $6,000 a month in the US for the same comfort level. Great, you say, I'm almost ready to move. But what about my healthcare? Actually, you'll find most countries have better healthcare at lower prices than in the United States. For example, private insurance for retirees in Colombia or Portugal can be under $100 a month. And doctors often speak English. That's a relief. This isn't a fantasy in someone else's life. It is happening right now for many retirees. You see, thousands of Americans have already left the broken system behind. But if retiring overseas makes so much sense, why doesn't everyone do it? Simple, because the system doesn't want you to. Financial institutions don't profit when you pull your money out of the US market. The media doesn't sell ads when you stop watching their fear headlines. And governments don't collect as much tax when you live abroad. So instead, they feed you fear like, you'll be unsafe overseas. They tell you, you'll lose your benefits. They insist that you'll be all alone and you'll regret it. But here's the truth. The danger isn't moving abroad. The danger is staying trapped in a system that's collapsing while you still have the power to walk away. Because fear is the only way they can control you. And freedom is the way you take control back. Here's the shift that changes everything and puts you back in the driver's seat. Your goal isn't to just escape your trap in America. Your goal is to reclaim your life so you can enjoy it to the fullest. You don't need millions of dollars in an offshore account to retire. You just need a plan, courage, and a willingness to think differently. Because when you realize your quality of life doesn't have to be tied to a zip code, you start to see the system for what it is, a machine that feeds on fear and keeps you from enjoying life to the fullest. And when you step outside it, the world opens up. You take control. That's what I teach here on Retire Without Borders. Not just how to move abroad, but how to take back your freedom. The US retirement system may be broken, but your future doesn't have to be. You can trade that fear for a life of freedom without constraints. You can trade a life of overwork for a life of balance. And you can trade bills for beautiful tropical sunsets. If this message hit home, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Retire Without Borders, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. The link in the description below. Be sure to check out my video on how to test drive a country before moving so you know what to expect. The link is above. And very importantly, watch this video on how to protect yourself while overseas so your identity isn't stolen. You don't have to fix the system. You may just have to leave it behind for something better, more affordable, and enjoyable. Watch this video next to see how you can live in the destination of your dreams for only $1,500 a month.